This is an NCBI Labs Talking Technology podcast clip.
Dorian is a new member of the NCBI Labs team. He is working out of our Tala office in Dublin, and he joins us now to tell us all about his role and about himself and to introduce himself to listeners. Dorian, welcome to the Talking Technology podcast. You're on sooner than expected.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Just so you know, you haven't dialed through to Australia. This is the Tala office. I'm just the new Australian on the team. So there you are.
Yeah, we had Liverpool 2 weeks ago, and now we're off to Australia. What part of Australia are you from, Dorian?
Yeah, so I'm from Perth, Western Australia. So there's a famous, for Australians anyway, there's a famous bug called a sand groper. And it's often what you refer to when you're talking to a Western Australian. You'd call them a sand groper.
Oh, there you go.
So there you go.
Some trivia for you. Absolutely. So, Dorian, welcome, first of all, to the team. You're new enough in the gig. How long are you with NCBI now? And how are you settling in?
Yeah, so I've been with the NCBI for about 6 weeks. And yeah, have really enjoyed the varied scope that we cover. It is quite amazing, because before coming into this role, there were things that I knew about what the role would entail, but lo and behold, as I've learned, it covers a lot more than I initially thought, which is really exciting, really exciting.
And I guess, had you ever worked then with visually impaired people before, or is this a totally new experience for you then?
Yeah, really good question. Well, previously in Western Australia, I'd worked for a university or a college, as you'd call it here, or a uni, as we call it in Australia. Most of my job was supporting lecturers and students with things like the learning management system or other forms of, technology. But unfortunately, a small proportion of our students and academic staff were visually impaired. So I'd only had, a small exposure, but
Sure.
but the exposure that I had left me intrigued and certainly wanted to know more about assistive technology and that sort of thing. So yeah,
what
a little
was the
bit.
What was the biggest shock when you kind of started working at NCBI then? Was there anything where you were like, oh, that's different to what I expected? Or was it fairly plain sailing once you stepped in? Like, how did you find getting started with this whole new world of the broad range of assistive technology that's out there? Yeah.
So, yes, like with technology in general, as we know, it's constantly changing. But what I was surprised with was the amount of assistive technology that's available. Like I knew a little bit about it, but I was really impressed and somewhat surprised with the availability of assistive technology. And then obviously having to learn how to pass that knowledge on to a service user or somebody like that. So yeah, I'm surprised, and I'm glad to see so much technology out there that's
Pleasantly
assistive.
surprised.
Mm.
Very good, very good. And I guess we better ask then some of those important questions as well, like the simple question. I asked Chris this as well, so I can't leave you off the hook. Are you an iOS or an Android man, Dorian?
Oh, that's a dangerous question, isn't it, these days? Look, I maybe like some people out there, I started off on Team Nokia.
Okay, fair enough.
And then the first smartphone that I got was an Android, so it set a good impression on me.
Okay.
Yeah, but then I started using an iOS as well, and I thought, yeah, they're quite similar, actually, believe it or not. I know they have different things that they show on the screen or say to you or whatever. But I'm gonna step back and just take the easy way out and say I'm neither. I'm team neither. I like both.
What's your daily driver though? What do you have in your pocket right now?
Okay. Well, my work phone is an iOS, but I guess my personal phone is a Google Pixel. So
Oh, he's
there's
still not getting
Android.
out of it. He's look, you're like a politician, well able to avoid it. I appreciate it. Well done.
Yes, I don't discriminate on technology. That's for
No,
sure.
good man. Fair play. I guess on the other side then, what about Windows or Mac? Are you in any camp on that front?
Oh, look. Yeah, it really depends on what you're doing, doesn't it? I think, so many times what's often provided by say a college or a workplace is Windows. So it's
Sure.
really important to know how Windows works, and you shouldn't really try to stay away from it. But then if you want to do something digital and creative, dare I say it, Mac comes first in that way. So I'm going to do the politician thing again and say I don't prefer either. It really depends what you're
Depends
doing.
what you're
So
doing.
how's that
Fair
again
enough.
for an answer?
No, I mean, look, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. You are right in what you're saying, that I guess for those creative tasks, it is a Mac way to go. And then for the productivity, arguably Windows is better. You're probably correct in that,
Yes.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
guess it's an interesting one. How are you finding just, like, I guess your first interactions now with service users and so on? What kind of assistive technology have you found yourself settling into and kind of getting familiar with in the first little while in the job? Has there been any specific assistive technology that really impressed you?
Yeah. So I think often, the simple things, are quite impressive. So a lot of these digital magnifiers that are available now, as opposed to, like a reflective lens type magnifier, where, we've all seen, perhaps back in the day, people would pick up a magnifier and hold it over a newspaper. The digital types now are quite amazing, and the way that they can, capture images like a photograph, and then you can have a look at it later on.
Sure.
But also being able to change the contrast is quite impressive, because that's what I've noticed. Some service users prefer black on yellow or blue on purple or whatever it is. And, taking something simple like a magnifier and then adding little bits of tech is quite impressive. But then, phone apps as well, because a lot of the assistive technology options don't have to be expensive. They might be free. So, Be My Eyes, for example, I only was recently introduced to that a few weeks ago, and I thought that's amazing.
Yeah, it's a cool concept.
You can actually talk to a real person and have them, describe something for you. Amazing.
Yeah,
and that's free.
Absolutely. Yeah, there are free things like that out there, like Be My Eyes and stuff like that. And we covered only recently here on Talking Technology, that they've added, you can get specialized support from companies like Sky and Spotify and Clear Blue and all that through these apps. And it's really cool to see, how the technology is always evolving in many respects, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Something that perhaps, 15 years ago would have cost you a lot of money now is free and somewhat better on a phone app that you can download for free. It's quite amazing.
Absolutely. Well, Dorian, thank you very much for joining us on Talking Technology and jumping into the ring so quickly when we had those technical issues earlier on. Really appreciate that. But you're very welcome to the team. And do you want to tell people before we wrap up, whereabouts in the country are you going to be working? What's all that going to be looking like? And if people do need a bit of technical support, how they can reach you, I guess.
Yes. So as per, I guess, everyone else's role in our team, providing support by way of technology assessments for those who don't really know what they want, or demonstrations for people that do know what they want and they just want to know how to use it, training, support, virtual tech clubs. Hopefully we'll be involved with those soon, similar to this. And I'll be based at Tala. So if anybody's located near the Tala area and would like some support, feel free to get through to the email address as per normal and or the phone number. And I'll be happy to support. Looking forward to meeting as many people as possible.
Fantastic. Dorian, you're very welcome to the team. And thank you so much again for joining us on Talking Technology.
Excellent. Thanks for having me, David.
Thanks for listening to this NCBI Labs Talking Technology podcast clip. For more just like this one, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. There you can also find full podcast episodes. They're also available on your podcast app of choice or on the NCBI Smart Hub.